All right, studio, let's go. And you're welcome inside the locker room, Lagos. It's 8:15 here for a Feel Good Friday on Smooth 98.1. My name is Mazino Appeal.
I'm Ayomiro Essay.
And of course, hey, let's welcome in our other hosts for the sports show here. I don't know how to do this any grander than I have all through the week, so I'm going to let Ayo do this. Yeah, here's the ball.
Okay, so we have the one, the only spot pundit of life and destiny.
Pocket
if you don't
rocket.
Hear her voice, what are you listening to on sports?
Watermelon
Ladies and
bomb.
gentlemen, the queen of LIS as ladies in sports. It is the one, the only Tega Supreme.
She's got it, you'll have it.
And
See?
of course,
Mazino, that's how you do it.
Take it.
Good morning,
I
Lagos.
know.
let me just, and then of course we have the man who is cool but packed to the punch. He's a little bit like, and what's that guy's name? That boxing guy,
Tyson Fury.
Tyson Fury.
Mm.
He has the punch, but very calm. It is Tokwe Cool.
Thank you very much. Good
AKA.
morning. I was wondering when all the adjectives will start rolling in.
But
Better
I
late
get
than
it
never.
there. No, take that work for it. Many years.
Mhm.
When you
Mhm.
small. But you work for it, Sha, you
Tipsy,
have
Tipsy,
Don't
as you
tell.
know, has been around for a
Yeah.
very long time himself.
Mm.
You know,
That's how they wake up. They say they want to earn
he
350k a week.
Already.
We just there play football yesterday.
he made it so early. He got married at 28.
Ah, nice one.
Let's do sports now, shall we?
Yes, we shall.
Thank you. Lagos, welcome inside the locker room. So, Louis Hamilton suffered an engine failure that cut his running to just a handful of laps on the penultimate day of Formula One preseason testing. The world champion's car had what Mercedes described as an oil pressure anomaly, which made the engine shut down at a precautionary measure. Now, Red Bull's Max Verstappen has had an eventful day, losing control twice to take his spins to 6 in 5 days. He said he had simply not seen a patch of water on the outside of the track when he lost control entering turn 5.
Okay, so most of Verstappen's error have been human error.
Mhm.
With Lewis Hamilton, the question was always, how is the car feeling? How is the car going to do? Ferrari seemed to have, at least the last two testing, they have some things under control. Charles Leclerc didn't have a problem with the car. Vettel looked good, so Ferrari looks ready. With Mercedes, they're still checking one or two things, and I think it was disappointing the way the session ended for them yesterday, because to investigate why they had that oil problem and all, it took them the rest of the day, and so Lewis Hamilton couldn't come back on track. But for Verstappen, he's been making so many errors, almost as if he went on the holidays and he forgot how to drive. So he's going to he's going to have to rediscover that, considering he had already made a statement like Lewis Hamilton is very beatable even in this Red Bull. So you come out in that with that statement, and then you're spinning in your car and not seeing puddle of
The
water.
route that you're going.
You're not seeing puddles of water everywhere. Then
At
that's
least
the
Hamilton
problem.
was a functional. It was an
It
engine.
was
thing.
an engine problem.
Well, yours
So
is kind of like a question on your skill.
yeah.
You know, you can't even drive. You're telling me about my car.
Exactly, like guy,
type of
wait,
thing.
calm down. So, but it makes the way the season is going, it's already set up to be interesting. From the way the season ended last time out to how it is at the start of the season. So let's see. We can't wait for March though. Can't wait for March to see what happens.
We cannot wait for March. All right, let's move on to our next story here, and it's a big one. It's the effect of coronavirus on every aspect of life now, particularly in sports. Juventus versus its Inter Milan among 5 Serie A matches to be played behind closed doors. 5 Serie A matches, including the clash between Juventus and Inter Milan, will be played without fans due to the coronavirus emergency. The move has disappointed Conte, who said soccer needs the crowd to hear the atmosphere around it. That's the best thing about the game, the atmosphere around the soccer being played.
Yeah, soccer definitely needs the crowd. I mean, we saw an example last night in the Europa League. Inter Milan, yes, they won their match. Probably they would have scored more goals if they had their fans behind them, but they still managed to muster a win. And definitely, the fans are always like the 12th player on the field of play. Not all the matches are going to be played behind closed doors. I think half of them are going to be played behind closed doors because it's the section of Italy that has been affected by coronavirus. But we got to do what we got to do, so they have to consider safety first.
Yeah,
Too bad.
I'm thinking of all the. I remember watching the UEFA Champions League. I remember I was like, see people. take it. Even if now 1 naira they take, they
I
don't make
remember-
money. That's what my mother was saying. So you can imagine that's what some clubs will do. Where is our money? What's going to happen to us apart from season ticket holders? But
Yeah.
so yes, I think at the end of the day, Conte had to acknowledge that this had to be done because of the health risks involved. He just wants to know how soon they can quickly sort everything out. Conte, you and the rest of the world,
That's such a
darling.
big match.
You and
They're
the rest
playing
of the
into,
world, yeah.
Juve.
Juve and Inter Milan, no crowd.
No crowd.
You will now be making crowd noises in your head just to enjoy the game.
Well, that said, maybe perhaps it's something that should be considered if you can have live feed from every viewing area. I don't know. I'm just saying. I'm stopping in the dark here. Help me out.
I think, let me ask a question. You talked about season tickets. Will they get any form of refund or maybe
I don't know.
credit
I doubt it.
for future matches? Because it's unfair.
Usually, season ticket owners are the rich folks,
Die
Big
so
hard.
boys, they don't.
they
mind.
won't send.
Number two, there's probably those stipulation like you know how you
Oh,
sign
yeah.
insurance,
Like
act of
insurance.
God. There
Yeah.
are certain things that
Perhaps this
Mhm.
falls on.
All
This
right.
falls under, yeah.
Let's move on now to some tennis, shall we? 5-time Grand Slam champion Maria Sharapova is saying goodbye to tennis at the age of 32. In an article written for Vogue and Vanity Fair, Sharapova said her body had become a distraction after a struggle with shoulder injuries. After returning from her ban in 2017, Sharapova struggled to recapture her best form and suffered from a number of injuries. And in announcing her retirement, she said, "I'm new to this, so please forgive me. Tennis, I'm saying goodbye." Couldn't have said any better.
Yeah, couldn't have said it any better.
We will miss the sights and especially the sounds.
And the I think for me it was the deafening silence. Like I'm retiring. Everybody was just moved on with their lives.
Oh my goodness.
I think
Like,
apart,
people.
I think apart from a few people like Novak Djokovic.
I think you have to be of a certain age to actually appreciate.
No, I don't think so. I think she's
tennis.
just generally not liked. Like even
Really?
her colleagues did not. There were not a lot of her colleagues that came out to say, "Oh, Serena is leaving." The likes of Andrew Rublev, maybe Karen Achanov. Again, those are fellow Russians. And then Novak, like I said, Novak Djokovic was one of the biggest names. It was just silence, but she had written in her book that she didn't come to the battlefield to make friends, so she has no friends. So
Wow.
nobody's
I
missing.
knew nothing of a
Even during that her ban or
you.
suspension, that was when
Yeah.
you know that they are kind of anonymous towards her.
Yeah, she's not really liked in the locker room, and there's a reason for that. And and then she retires, and everybody, people are saying, "Oh, what at the end of an era?" And what era? Is it a doping era? The girl was clearly not able to play without meldonium. End of discussion. She came back. She has not won anything since she stopped taking meldonium.
To boost that, Deepa here says,
But she
"Bye."
started pretty early also. I think 17 where she won her first
Mm,
Grand Slam against Serena.
Check this out. You guys are gonna not like or like this too much.
Mhm.
Deepa says, "Bye, Sharap Doper."
Ouch.
Nobody will miss her imaginary rivalry with Serena.
All right.
Miss her height though.
Yeah, so
was a
so they were talking
beautiful
about her
young
legacy,
tennis
and somebody wrote that those questions, who will ever tell us what really happened with this doping? Because she went on a dope ban and came back entitled to people's forgiveness. Like, I've served my time, people should forgive me. No, you're not entitled to my forgiveness. You've served your time. Play your tennis and go home. No, she.
But she should be forgiven. I mean, she's done the time.
No,
already.
no. Nobody's going to stop her from playing. Doesn't
Yeah.
mean I'm going to.
She's entitled.
She's entitled to my forgiveness.
Okay.
Her playing is different from my forgiveness. So she's not entitled to that. And she kept going on shows trying to reinforce that people should move on.
Move on.
In an era that people are also saying that there should be life ban for dopers. What are you telling me? Then you came back after the dope ban and you couldn't play.
Yeah. All right. So MI from Makoka says, "Dear Conte, yes, football needs the crowd, but it needs the crowd alive and healthy. I know football is more business than sport, and there will be loss of revenue from such a big game. But in the words of the great Thanos, destroyer of the world,
Yes.
this is a small price to pay for salvation."
I like
Nice.
that.
I like your impression. I like it.
Nobody snapped the finger.
No, we don't want to all die. Cool.
Yep.
Ken says, "Good morning, guys. We are rehabilitating thousands of." Hang on a second. Good morning, guys. Man, those games behind closed doors would even fall short of a training session. It's not a small something. Though.
Yeah. What do you think? I was thinking about it earlier this morning. Will they still have like family members? If you
Yeah, I think there must be.
Yeah,
There will
they
be
do.
people
I
who are
won't be
like
against
contact
I don't
me.
think so.
Look, empty stadium is empty
I
stadium.
think just cameras.
I think there must be a process where select people would be
Select people.
allowed.
No.
It's impossible to have
No, it's a health risk.
You cannot have 30 people in a whole stadium.
It's not a security. You don't understand. It's not a security risk. Like, you know how they give you a ban for maybe a racist chant or anything. It's a health risk. Stay in your house.
No, not to
what is
just
even-
every fan.
Yeah.
But,
But what's going to qualify you to
Or support
be able to be there? Family?
After you've been verified healthy, I guess. Maybe there might be processes that they will put you through. Okay, enter.
So I'm sorry. So you think that with all the Italian Serie A matches that are going on, they will now spread health workers around the state? They don't even have enough to deal with the cases that they have.
Why are you and I fighting? It's not even in our hands.
but like Tipsy said, there'd have to be production crew because people have to watch these matches, so they would have the production crew.
So TV rights should go up anyway. Sharapova is saying goodbye to tennis. She doesn't know tennis. It said goodbye to her years ago. People are a bit sad. I've never gone to that time yet.
Yeah, let's read this one here.
Big T says,
Sharapova, take a speak for yourself. Yes, the locker room did not like her, but believe me, all the male fans loved her audio.
All
I
the
know a
male.
lot. I know a lot of guys that.
She said all.
Yeah.
No, not all.
He
Definitely
said all.
Definitely not.
Big
all.
T, not all.
Where are you on this, Cole? I mean, seriously, you didn't like her?
I like the part of her.
Yeah.
The sounds,
Okay.
the sights,
all
the
right.
tennis.
We need
Let us
Liverpool need
go.
help.
Real quick.
La Liga.
Yeah.
All right. Barca Madrid seek boost in crisis. Clasico between giants in decline. La Liga's most important Clasico for years might also be the most mediocre. On Sunday, as Barcelona and Real Madrid each fight to lift the gloom by deepening the other's sense of crisis. For both teams, the build-up has been bumpy, with Madrid particularly wounded after a 2-1 defeat at home to Manchester City, which has left them on the brink of exiting the Champions League in the last 16 for a second year in a row.
But whether I like it or not, it will still remain El Gran Clasico, Barcelona versus Real Madrid. No other match matches up to that particular fixture. Unfortunately, they are both injury hit, both teams, but it better not be half as boring as the first leg, which ended goalless. No matter what people say about this one, because it can actually be a title decider head to head. And if the first one ended goalless, we need a winner in this one, or else it will go to goal difference, which is not usually the case in La Liga. But still going to be a great fixture for Barcelona, the likes of Jordi Alba will be out, probably Sergio Busquets also, and for Real Madrid, Eden Hazard basically is the main man that is going to be missing. I'm not too sure about Gareth Bale, whether he's going to play. I don't know why he's not been under Zidane's favorite list, but still will be a cracker of a match.
Yeah, and I'm pleased Zidane, Jovic should play this weekend. Just try him out.
What is your own with Jovic? You just love the guy.
No, if you bought a striker and you're looking for goals, you will try every option you have, right?
True.
You try all the strikers on the bench, on the team. And if you have in the academies, you bring them up and try them too. Just try and get goals from anywhere. Just stop using only Benzema. He's not the alpha and the omega. Try.
Try. All right, we will we have one or two more messages. If you people have something to say to Sharapova, and then we'll take a break.
Just a few. There's a lot of people who have stuff to say. Mi from Makoka says, I used to think that the way Sharapova played dope tennis until those tests results came out.
You people allow her. Ken says, guys, can't we just gloss over Arsenal story today? Crying, we're getting there. We're coming there in a
Calm
moment.
down.
We will not gloss over. We will delve deeply into the matter, into the heart of the matter.
Well, Lagos, do stay tuned if you want to find out how deep this rabbit hole goes on the other side, because it's about to get tough. Do stay tuned. It's the locker room here on Smooth Breakfast.
Hey, what's up, everybody? My name is Shay Shay. You're listening to Smooth 98.1.
We will delve deeply into it. These headphones are really loud.
Reduce it now.
Reduce it under there.
Technical stuff. Okay, this person was watching on YouTube. Oh no,
What does it mean, technical staff and journalists? Of course, they're not going to chase out the technical staff from the stadium. We are talking about family member. Of course, there'll be technical staff, there'll be medical team.
Lines you believe that there's child. You can tie it to the
These
myths
are the
around
bring
coronavirus.
fascist comments
That's
to us in the studio.
That we can tie it to some of the lies that are being spread about coronavirus.
So she says the second one. Which one is yours?
As you believe as a kid, yeah.
Like when they say when it's raining and it's sunny and it's sunny at the same time. Yeah. And then if a lizard walks over your head, you're pregnant.
A lizard walks over people's head.
Walks,
Like if you're
like
standing
literally.
and then a lizard just passes by.
Hang on a second.
Is he close enough?
This segment is brought to you by Coca-Cola, the official sponsor of the English Premier League. Banter better with
Bring us in, Aya.
Coca-Cola.
And now it is time to banter better with Coca-Cola. This segment is brought to you by Coca-Cola, and it is where we banter. So send in your most witty comments and try to be fair. Please, no vulgar language, nothing insulting. Keep your comments as clean as possible, and for us to read them out, use the hashtag banter better with Coca-Cola.
Oh, and please, you can drag us now as much as you want.
Even before the show, they stay dragging Cruz. I see you.
Let's get into it, shall we? So let's talk with Odion Ighalo. Man United manager Odion Solskjaer praises striker after his first goal for club. Solskjaer was impressed by the striker's performance, saying, let's say that again, Solskjaer was impressed by the striker's performance, saying Odion was up there doing what he does. He's a target man. We can play up to him. He can hold it, and he's got Bruno, that's Fernandes, and Juan, that's Mata, next to him. So he's got runners there. He goes on with further quotes here. It says, as a fellow striker myself, he adds himself to the equation just to rub shoulders with greatness. I know how important the first goal is. He has been close a couple of times. You can see he sniffs goals. He wants to be there where it is sometimes, even if it sometimes hurts. But with that goal as well, he is sharp in his head.
I like the way
All those, as in, there's so much praises there. Wow.
Yeah. So I'm guessing he also felt the impact around the world, because Odion Ighalo scored one goal. Let me tell you how I knew that it was a goal. Arsenal fans who were in tension were shouting to and celebrating on my estate. So I was like, what's going on here? It was Odion Ighalo.
You stay in tension. Tension is the name of a place. Oh, sorry, Basketball is not for you.
Tension is the name of the place.
Tensionville.
Tension is the name of the place where Arsenal fans stay.
Cool. When you put it like that. Tensionville. Okay.
Yeah,
okay,
that's where Arsenal fans stay. He will know a lot about it. He has I think he's number one on the
He has a
streets.
sticker in his car.
So, but it was such a fantastic moment. And like Solskjaer said, he did come close a couple of times, and it was important for Odion Ighalo to get the goal. I must say this: Manchester United and Club Brugge didn't there was not much difference in both of them until that red card. The red card, I think, really did turn the tie on its head. Maybe Manchester United would have been able to do the extra to win, but they didn't yesterday, so nobody should come here and argue with me. They really started to dominate after the red card. But what is not questionable or what is not doubtful is the impact of Bruno Fernandes. Amazing guy. He sees the passes, he sees the openings, he knows exactly what to do with the ball, how to create, how to pull in defenders and give his other teammates a chance to play. So for Manchester United, that was a fantastic buy to get Bruno Fernandes. Hopefully he'll continue doing what he's doing consistently till the end of the season. But for Odion Ighalo, great one. You are the son of the soil, and we are proud of you.
Yeah, and he just might actually get to play more matches, because I understand that Marshall is injured. Yeah, so he just might get his chance. He scored at his fourth attempt and his first start for Manchester United.
So maybe if he starts against Everton,
to his sister that passed in December. He had a picture of her.
Is that what we're doing? Okay, that's nice.
Yeah. So if he plays against Everton,
against the rules to like do that?
No, as long as you're not
taking off the entire.
Yeah, you're not taking it off, and you're not showing any
political sponsors message. Yeah, all those things. So, but however, And I thought it would have been very ridiculous to try and find somebody that lost his sister. It would good to have a heart.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
if he starts against Everton on Sunday, that'll be interesting to see. Then I will be sure that Solskjaer has real trust in him,
In him,
because that's such a big game. And so for Solskjaer to make him
Considering
start
how Mason Greenwood has been playing also.
would indicate a good amount of trust
All
in
right,
him.
MI's comments will lead us to our next story. He says, for the records, I'm writing this under duress. The following comments cannot be tenable in the court of law. Yes, as an Arsenal fan, I watched the United game because of my dear Ighalo. Take note, we are Ighalo FC, not United FC.
You
We're
know?
United fans. We are let the dragging of Arsenal begin. Hashtag banter better with Coca-Cola.
I like.
And so, ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, Arsenal striker, felt very, very bad after Europa League miss. I don't even know, he said when asked how he missed it. It can happen, but I do not know how I missed this chance. I was tired. I had some cramps, but it's not an excuse.
Oh, poor Obi.
So Aubameyang went from hero to
Arsenal.
zero real quick. I mean, he equalized for Arsenal in the 113th minute in extra time, and all Arsenal had to do was defend for 7 minutes to get themselves into the round of 16. Unfortunately, the bane of their season, which has been bad defending, was what haunted them in that particular game. And Olympiacos scored in the 120th minute. Just when you thought it was over, Aubameyang was presented with a chance that was easier than the overhead kick that he scored, and he blew it. He almost looked like he was in tears. And Arteta, I have to say, has already broken another bad record, because Arsenal have never exited a European competition after winning the first leg away from home. First time it's ever done, it's happening to Arsenal. Arsene Wenger, it never happened to him. Even Unai Emery, it never happened. But Arteta has done it again.
It's an apprentice now. You do what apprentices do. What are you saying? That's what apprentices are supposed to do.
Break bad records.
Set new records, new bad records. But see, Aubameyang can say he felt very bad, and there's some people that are saying, "Oh, Aubameyang is so sad." Look, what makes a great player is scoring consistently. Overhead kick is beautiful, but sometimes you have to do the simple
The
things
important one.
excellently. Because this is. I think what happened was, because he had scored that overhead bicycle kick, it wasn't about cramps. It was that he scored that overhead bicycle kick. This ball came to him. He didn't even need to smash at it the way he did. Just tap it gently in the net. He wanted to, he wanted the ball to hit the back
With
of the net
swag.
and tear it. He wanted to, he wanted to be able, there's a feeling on top of the wall that if I can score bicycle kick, this one, I will wound the goalkeeper. That kind of street
Kung Fu.
And I don't understand
street
Lacazette.
football.
Lacazette, maybe because he scored in the first leg, he chose to go on his off
Lacazette
day
had a very
last
bad day.
night.
We have plenty of messages, people.
Yeah,
Promise
but-
from Ilasa says, good morning, guys. Nice one, Ighalo. You can take Wenger out of Arsenal. You can take Emerick out of Arsenal, but you can't. And I repeat, you can't take Arsenal out of Arsenal. And I don't get why Arsenal fans had such huge expectations with Arteta. Man's only coaching experience was handing out bibs. Hashtag banter better with Coca-Cola.
Oh goodness,
This
you
is
guys are
unfair.
mean.
I felt that one. I
This
felt
is so
it.
unfair. This is the classic says, I'm so happy for Odion Ighalo being the first Nigerian to score for Manchester United. I just wish the federal government can do us all a favor to declare today as a public holiday.
We are
For
already
we
in the office.
Nigerians to celebrate his last night's goal. Arsenal players are so lazy. No wonder some of their fans say that they should use Emirates Stadium for cultivation of cassava. That could boost the economy.
Ouch.
Hashtag banter better with
Femi
Coca-Cola.
from Festac here says, from playing the final last year to being knocked out in the round of 32 by Olympiacos. What an improvement, Arteta.
Emmanuel from Akoka gives another glass goes here. Says hashtag banter better with Coca-Cola. Can we now agree that Arsenal's imaginary unbeaten run of the decade is over?
Yeah.
Someone said the people that crashed out of the Europa League did it alphabetically, because if you look at the teams last night, Ajax crashed out, Arsenal crashed out, AZ Alkmaar crashed out. 3 teams starting with the letter A, so they said it was alphabetical.
Nice stats. Big T from Lagos. Hashtag banter better with Coca-Cola. Tale of 2 African boys. One scored the 1 goal for the Devils, and he is a hero. The other boy missed the sitter for Gunners without bullets and is now a villain. Life, no fair. That's all. Nice. All right, let's do our next story here, shall we? So, Pep Guardiola warns Manchester City that Real Madrid will hit back in second leg. Quote here, I'm happy for the victory, of course, but for the performance as well. He said, today we're happy, but still, it's not over. If there's one team in the world that can overcome anything and everything, is this club for its experience, its history, but hopefully for our people, we can do a good performance and go through.
Well, he knows better than to be confident heading into that particular match because Real Madrid are the best team in European football based on the clubs that and based on the trophies that they've won over time. Unfortunately, or should I say fortunately, the same scenario that happened to Arsenal last night can happen to Manchester City because that's how Arsenal won away from home and was celebrating. Yes, this one was a 2-1 scoreline at the Bernabeu, but the same thing can happen. Real Madrid can also come to England at the Etihad Stadium and shock them. 3-2 will knock them out. So he knows what he's saying when he's saying they should not be overconfident and they will have to play that match like they didn't even play a first leg at all.
And what makes what makes it imperative that they keep up the competitive spirit is the final. So they face Aston Villa this weekend in the final of the League Cup. So they need to be as competitive as possible to try and retain that trophy. I know some people say it's just Aston Villa, but Aston Villa can stun you with the fight that they have. And they're scrappers. They just know how to keep gnawing at it until you give them something to go home with. And so Manchester City, after such a big victory against Real Madrid, it will be hard for them to come back home a little sluggish, a little tired, and not try to win the League Cup. So important week for Pep Guardiola. He's crossed one hurdle, but he needs to cross Sunday as well.
All right, so Olawi has a question for you, Tega. Hashtag banter better Coca-Cola. Tega, please, what is your opinion on that Ramos red card? I can't believe Zizou will remove this hardworking guy too, or put in Bill who runs around like a chicken.
Yeah. Okay, so I would say this for the red card. It was a question of two things. Sergio Ramos was clumsy. He tried to play a trick. I don't think it was enough contact. But if you are Jesus at that point in time, in a game that you needed to win, all he needed to do was feel your intent. He just felt Sergio Ramos's contact and he went down. He fell under the anointing.
He did a Suarez.
I'm telling you, he pulled it. So you cannot argue too much because there was a touch.
Yeah.
So you cannot tell me, but that touch is not enough to pull you down. Are you me? Do you understand? So I see why the referee and VAR held on to it because there was that contact. But if you look at it, Jesus really played on.
Yeah, and even Jesus' goal also was kind of
He
suspect
played,
because they said he pushed Sergio Ramos.
No, he actually did get the goal. He bullied Ramos. Nobody told Ramos.
Bullied by pushing.
No, he didn't push him.
Shoving?
No, he didn't push him. It's a contact sport. So sometimes when
There
both
we
of you
go.
go up for stuff, there was no pushing. He
One
was
person will come out stronger.
yeah,
in the
he
next one.
bullied Sergio Ramos. Sergio Ramos
Tega,
allowed
real
the small boy
quick,
to
one more
bully
message
him.
before our last story here. Chimobi Victor from Alaba says, how I wish today, well, you should have sent this earlier now. How I wish today's program will not hold. Not after my darling Arsenal got knocked out of the Europa League. I keep dreaming how I will be able to absorb Tega's banter on my darling Arsenal, but I have to be brave enough to listen this morning.
Be brave.
Be brave.
Coca-Cola,
Be
it's
brave.
okay. It's
All right,
okay, man.
Liverpool eye record-breaking win as top four battle hits up. Liverpool's historic charge towards a first English title since 1990, that's about 30 years ago, will reach another landmark moment if they beat Watford. Why?
Yeah, because they can. So many what they call it can be actually broken records. They broke one last week. They can break another one this week.
They should
The
not
one
break
that I'm
Arsenal's one, please.
I'm still putting my money on it that they will not attain that 49
Oga,
unbeaten.
keep your
Man
money.
City will make sure that they do not do so.
Better
Man
keep your
City.
money. You'll be shocked.
I'm going to put any amount on that. Man City. If Man City was not in the mix of I think that's going to be their 48th match. If Man City was not in the mix, then maybe. But Man City will make sure that Liverpool don't do so.
Man City are rooting for you.
Yeah.
All of you are not rooting for
All
Man
of
City. Oh my goodness.
Alright, so we have from YouTube, Christopher Egesi says people should let Aubameyang be, please. How many times does he have to save Arsenal? Every player has a part to play the team. Oba played his part by scoring, the defense did not.
He also played his part by missing too. Or didn't play his part by missing.
Charles Chidozie on Twitter says, just when Arteta was beginning to feel like he was getting into the groove with his confused Arsenal team, the real Arsenal boys decided to show up. Hashtag banter better with Coca-Cola.
All right.
And I can't believe David Luiz is actually one of the nominees for Player of the Month. He was one of the suspects for that goal.
All right, we still got one we didn't read from before here. Mecca from Amua says, please, I want to beg everybody to please take it easy. Oh, no, we read this already.
No.
Edakun. Oh, no, we haven't. He said, everybody should please take it easy on Arsenal today. Everybody's begging for Arsenal. Edre Edakun. I'm already thinking of putting my radio on mute for the next 15 minutes. The glass bus is going to be mad. We received banter on a normal day, but after today's embarrassing loss, or yesterday's embarrassing loss, I have to creep into my hole for the next 15 minutes. Well, I bet you're out now. We're done. Don't worry.
We're done.
We're done.
Hands raised. Don't worry, there are 2 Arsenal fans in the building. So if we can stand the heat right inside
If we can
the
take
fire,
it from
Yeah,
here,
yeah, then
wherever you are, you
you're
should
good.
be able to, you'll survive. You'll survive.
Okay, Lagos, that's all we can take this morning. Thanks for your comments. Thanks for your usual engagement. We really, really love it. Thank you, Tega Supreme and Allies International for the work she does with women. And thank you, Tokwe Cole. I got it this time. Tipsy Cool, OOLL.
Yeah,
Please give me my medal.
Yeah.
Which medal?
Bravo.
This how Aubameyang did after scoring bicycle kick.
Okay, then, well, Lagos, thank you very much for being a part of the show. Thank you for all your basketballs and messages, because basketballs is different from messages. Join us again next week inside a Monday edition. When Tega will be back, and of course, Mr. Cole as well. I like to call him Mr. Cole. Stay tuned, however. We still have 1 more hour to go, and inside there, Lagos Talks, a very interesting Feel Good Friday topic coming your way in just about a bit.
Look, we hope my biscuit is waiting for me downstairs. Because Timba move your key, and we